So now I'm working on the Stihl BG72 old blower. I've got to take that bit of casing off first. Sorry about the leads around, I'm trying to do it the best I can so you got some light and I can get the tripod. Okay, I've just got to take some screws out there with the Torx type bit. I'll do that and then come back to you, because what I'm doing on this, before I order any parts, it doesn't rev out properly. I'm going to check that the piston's in good condition. So to do that, I'm going to take the carburetor off and take this casing off, and then take the exhaust off. It's pretty simple to take this off. I think the recoil's got to come off and a few other screws, and then this side of the casing will come off and I can get to where I want to get to. So bear with me and I'll be back in a few seconds when I got that off. So here we are now. The cover was off, it wasn't too bad at all, just a few screws. So I'm going to take the exhaust off, which I think that is probably the Torx bit as well, but I think I've got to take off that little guard on the exhaust first, and then I think it'll let me get to the main bit. This possibly could be blocked, the exhaust could be, that could be why it's not revving out. We'll have a look at that when we get there. So it might actually save me taking the carb off if that happened to be the problem. This is an old, the sort of old style Stihl engine on this. It's a 1995, so it's what's it, 23 years old, but it looks to me like it's been looked after quite well. So let's have a look and see, inspect that. Just a gasket there, I'll throw that in the tub. There we go. I don't know if that is blocked, which was well, that's certainly not helping. If you look through there, you can see that side is a bit clear, but the rest is really mucked up. So it surprised me if that's a lot of the problem, because it's too late to try it tonight now. But let's see if we can clean that up a bit. I've actually got it better, but it's still got to be cleaned out better. I'm half tempted to leave that in a little bowl with a little bit of carb cleaner just to clean it out overnight. So hopefully this one could be a nice little quick fix. Usually they've been taken out on machines, so I sometimes forget this can be the problem. But yeah, you can see there it was bunged up, so the exhaust gases were not going to get out. While I'm at it though, I can just actually see there. It'll save me getting the exhaust off. You might not be able to see brilliantly, but in my opinion, the piston's pretty good this side. You can see where it's carboned up through the port a little bit. Let's just see if I can get the phone down to show you. If you can just, I'm trying to get it so you can see it. You can just see it in there. That's where you look. You won't be able to see it properly, but that piston is in good condition this side. So it's usually the side that does cause the issue. So let's get back down to that position. I'm half tempted just to take the carburetor off, just to have a quick look in that side, just for peace of mind really. Not too bad to do. All it is that guard, that bit there. The carb is quite dirty anyway, so I will give it all a bit of a clean up. See if I can find, I've got a little bit more organised tonight, so I do know where the tools should be. There we go. That was a great little buy from Poundland, like a little wheel brace, but it's a small one, so it's a great little tool for little jobs like this. Would be handy if this one was a quick fix. I weren't really planning on doing this weekend, but just turn my torch off. this weekend, but I've got on fairly well. A bit of a slow day yesterday sorting things out, but you have them days. So there we go for that. The carb should come off. I think that little rod's in. The handle bits come off, which is a bit annoying. I wanted to try and get that off without taking the fuel pipes off. You have to bear with me a minute. I've just got to take the fuel pipes off, and then I can have a look in there. Yes, I've got that off now. Let's have a little look at that. The light is not good. Generally this side was alright anyway. There might be a slight mark on that. No, I don't think so. I think that piston's pretty good. Yep, so my inspecting in there, I know that that's alright. While it's off, I shall give it a clean up. So yeah, I think probably it is just that spark arrestor I showed you, which I don't know where I've put now. So it's the next night now. I'm working on a Stihl BG72 again. I've cleaned it all up, as you can see. It stinks of petrol in here now because I've washed it down with petrol and blew it off. But it's a lot cleaner now. I had to take the tank and that out, but it's only 2 screws to hold that. No, I didn't actually disconnect the pipes, I just hung them around the side. I've cleaned all the carb, cleaned the air filter housing. I weren't sure whether I could get the outer casing on with that bolted on, but I'm pretty sure I can. I've cleaned out that now, what I think is the problem. See if we can go against something a bit. You can sort of see there that that's pretty clean now. So I think that's okay. So any second now I'm gonna bolt that back on. So yeah, I'll put this back on. I have off camera put a new recoil rope in it because the old one was a bit shabby. So I thought while it was off I'll do that. I've really got to wash that, that's a bit dirty in there. But we're sort of almost here with this one now. I'm just getting a bit sorted together how I think it'll go. I'm sure the gasket goes first and then that piece. And so I think it's a gasket, then that piece, and it'll come out that way. Then the piece I cleaned, the spark arrestor bit, I think that's what you call it. So that all goes together. That, I'm convinced that goes at the bottom. And then we've got the 4 little screws. So you might be out of shot a little bit, but you'll be able to get the gist of it. Handy because this little Stihl tool does work. It does work well. So I've got to keep going searching for other tools. One good thing, they've made it so the tool actually fits all the bits on the machine nearly. So yeah, you haven't got to go searching for a different tool. But the more and more you work on them, on different machines, you tend to sort of work out what size things are really. Like on Briggs and Stratton engines, I sort of know the sizes. Hondas, or the engine bits are sort of 10mm and that, but then the blade's usually 14mm. There's some 12mm on them, like on the rollers. One side of the bolt that holds the roller on's 14, and the other side's 12. And you just get to know really. And I worked on cars for a long time, my dad, so sort of, you know, can just look at a bolt and that, you just learn that. And other people that do mechanical work and that will just know what I mean. You just sort of learn it as you go you'll know what spanner fits what within a little. That one doesn't seem to want to go in too well. But I think we've done it now. So that's actually the main sort of bit back together really. Thought I'd take you along with this. It's nothing too exciting, but it's a video. They keep coming in. Hopefully you enjoy watching them. So now we've done that, I'll put that to the side. We've got all that on. The air filler, like slightly grubby, but okay. So we'll use that again. So just a couple of little jobs to do now. It's just cleaning that. I'll just go and do that outside with a bit of petrol. Fuel cap, I'm not convinced that is the right one, and I'm actually not sure I've got one at the moment, so I'll probably stick with that one at the minute. I've got to put the nozzle bit back on as well. Let's get you down here. Yeah, I've got to put the nozzle back on. I took that off just to make it easy to work on the bench. So yeah, we're very, very close to getting this, so we can see if we can start it up. So here we are. I've choked it, I've primed it, I've done everything, so it should be ready to start. So let's see if that was a problem. I didn't show you before because when I tried it before it was actually on a job, and I tried it because it was in the van and it just wouldn't rev out. It started but just wouldn't rev out. So let's see what it's like now. So it's choked, yeah, prime's been done, throttle set right. So you see me pulling it and it didn't really want to go. I messed around with the fuel adjustment screws, didn't really want to know. I suspect it's carburetor and diaphragm. So this was coming back off, and I'll show you what the diaphragm's like when I strip it down to that point. Well, I've got the carb apart and right apart now, and I've actually cleaned the main carb out. I only had carb brake spray, but that'll do. The diaphragm doesn't look too bad, maybe a little bit weak, but it's still got plenty of spring in it. So I'll basically give it a clean. I'm going to try it back together. This is how frustrating small engines can be. Yeah, you get convinced it's one thing, and then it's sort of a bit of a fail, then you've got to go on to something else. So now we're on to the carb. I will buy another carb kit for it, but I think this one is okay. So I'll get that back together and we'll try it again. I'll do a carb video at some point on a small engine like this, a 2-stroke one, but at the moment I want to try this and get it back together quick. I come out here tonight to the shed to do you a video because I thought this blower BG72 spark arrestor I thought was blocked. That was the only fault, but it wasn't until I sort of got it apart I noticed it was leaking fuel between the head and the block. So now it's just escalated to taking it right apart. But actually it's in quite good condition. The piston looks, it's a bit burnt, but it hasn't actually got any marks on it at all. So no scratches or anything. You can see it's heavily carboned up on top, but even the cylinder's good. It's definitely passable. So I'm thinking it was the sort of head gasket. I'm not going to probably bother ordering one. I'm going to probably just use some instant gasket stuff. I might have some, or I'll have to get some. I'm sort of done for the night anyway. It needs a real good clean. You can, how dirty that I cleaned it when I did the spark arrestor, and I didn't notice the fuel till afterwards, and I know why it has got so dirty now. It's because it's been leaking between there. It's quite a common, well, not common, but it does happen. I had it on a Stihl hedge cutter once, and that wouldn't run properly at all. So I reckon that's what the problem is on this. I did have it running. I'm surprised I ever got it running, but the head bolts were loose. I tried to tighten them, but I think the damage is already done to the gasket. So I've sort of cleaned the gasket off, but I want to get it sort of spotless inside, and now that's all off, I can take it outside and use a degreaser on it and everything. So this is going to be another project. I'll try to take you along some of it, but I've sort of wasted tonight. I wanted to get more done, and I've only got this apart now, and this wasn't really that important. Well, I decided to sort of carry on for a little while longer, and I've cleaned both the bits up. So I hope you can see okay. I've done the preparation best I can. I've put the gasket on already. There you can see. And I've used a bit of that sealer stuff I had a gasket maker just to sort of stick it on there. So all I'm going to do now, oh, also as well, I've put a cable tie around the piston rings, so it should allow this just to push directly on there. So let's see how we go. I've put a little bit of oil into the sort of sump area, the crank area, so that's lubricated, but just check this is the right way around. Yep, that's all right. So in theory I should be no, it's gone wrong. This might take a few takes because it's a little bit awkward to do this. Make sure I've got that right again, and then we shall see if we can just going on that. So my job now is actually to push it down, try and make it so you can see. Apologise for light's poor, but this is a little bit awkward to film this. I want to push it so the cable tie comes off. That means I can cut that then. Get rid of that. Actually, them scissors are a little bit dirty. I don't want any rubbish dropping into there. Actually had a bit of fuel pipe in them as well, but yeah, there we go. So see if you can see how well you can see it there. You see, we'll just nip it together like that, like so, and then just make sure that the gasket doesn't get ruined. Perfect. I think it's perfect. So what I'll do now is it won't sit very well at the moment. It sat better when it was actually in the machine. I'll have to find the right tool for it. It should be pretty good to go. You can see there. Well, I'll try and you can see there. Not so good in the other side. But it seems to be turning over quite nicely. Some compression there. I will just put a bit of sort of normal, just engine type oil down the plug hole, just so it lubricates it up a little bit. I did smear a little bit on before I put the piston rings in, but not much. So let's pour just a tiny bit. I don't want much in there, because it'll smoke like a good one when it starts. I'll overdo it like I normally do, but things like this, it won't do too much harm. It will just, like I said, just smoke. So. And I think where the video ended last time, I was pulling it over and it didn't start. All it did was fill the exhaust up with fuel. So my guessing is it's them piston rings. I thought the compression was alright. I haven't got a compression tester, and I've never actually I've probably been watching one on eBay for 3 years and never bought it. But I usually, the old method, hold my finger over and sort of just decide whether it's got enough compression or not. This one, it has got a bit, but not, if you could see how easy it's turning. I thought it had more. It has got a little bit more on when the carbon exhaust is on, but there ain't a lot there. So my job tonight is, and actually I've got a friend to help me tonight, Mr. DeWalt Small Impact. So I'm hoping I can take this apart loads quicker than I've been doing by hand before. I want to get it done. I want to get them rings in. You just seen how I put the rings on last time, so I won't show you that. So hopefully you'll have seen a bit of footage on the GoPro. I want the GoPro with the screen on the back, really. It would help out a lot. So maybe purchase for the future. But they're tight now. I've wiped off all the Loctite. You must have seen me put that on there. Now hopefully that improves the compression quite a lot. There we go. I think that was, oh, so I thought. Yep, that's met there. Yep, we're done there now. So that engine is in place. Let me just find the bolts. These are the deep ones, so I'm going to have to use the actual well, the actual steel tool it is for these, annoyingly. But putting the case back on will actually, it'll save a lot of time. With the impact, so. One in. I just bung all the bolts in a box and then I'll end up putting the wrong one in the wrong place. Usually work it out, but it's a little hassle you don't want. But the shed's in a mess anyway. The bench, you can probably see, is in a real mess. But we'll get this one done. At least all the bits will be back on it. Hopefully it starts up and put an end to this one then, and then move on to something else. I'll tell you what, there's plenty more to come. Mowers galore need fixing up, probably just to get rid of. They're too good to scrap. The idea for this blower is, someone mentioned on the video the other day, if you watch my other channel, I bought a big hater like greens mower, and they said about, am I going to take a blower to with me to blow off all the blades and what have you when I'm using it. And to be honest, I hadn't really thought about it, I hadn't gone into it that far really, but it got me thinking, if I can get this little blower done in the summer months, I'll sort of leave it on the mower at all times, make a little rack of that. I've got that nice and tight on there now. Check, yep. Before I move on, I'll make sure I've got the bit in. I don't need that anymore. So we might as well get this side of the cover on now, because I don't need to come this side anymore. I don't know why there's a little, it's like a little flap that comes down for you. I suppose if you have the back attachment on it. So let's just get all that in line. How quick is that? I have actually got an 18-volt one of these, but it isn't quite man enough to do blade bolts. But for the small engine bolts like this, it's okay. But actually, this one's okay for that. So I do use it for what I do use it for when I'm fencing and all that as well, things like that. So it isn't just for this. So that was nice and quick to put them back on. The fuel cap's wrong on this, so I will need to get one of them if it's successful. I think actually, the carb can't go on yet because we've got bits and pieces on there to put on. So let's just bear with me a second. We will need that quite soon. That and that. I think just there, shot up there. I'll show you what I'm doing here. This is like the switch and that, the on and off switch. So what happens is the wires just, I think they go into a little groove there, just to keep them away from the actual engine or any hot bits, I suppose, hot parts. Then that one goes each side, so I'll just push them in with a screwdriver a bit just to hold them nicely in place. Yep, we've got this little switch that goes, quite easy to put on, just sits there like that. When you keep messing around it keeps falling off, but we haven't got to worry about that at the moment. Check that's right. I think that's wrong. No, that's right, like that. Then this actually goes on first. Yeah, that goes on first, and then that. And then I've gone and lost the. Oh, I don't need to put it on yet, actually. And then how it works is that is stop. That is start and choke, like that. See that there? And then it's off there, so I'll just leave it sitting there at the moment. The carb gasket and everything's on. Let's switch you around a bit. Let me zoom in a bit. You'll sort of be able to see a bit. Actually, this is, yeah, this is where that pin goes in. One bit goes in the top there on the, actually I think it's that part that goes in there, and then that is actually your throttle, so you can squeeze it in after with some sort of small pliers, but everything's gone for a burn. That must be how to do it. You end up forgetting how you take it off when you take things, too many things apart. So then that's like slid in the middle hole for some reason. Yep, that's all working fine. So then that switch will have to go back in, but I'll unzoom you now. Let me just go over what I've just done, because I think you might have missed it. There's that rod goes down there, that clips into a little hole on the back of the carb for the throttle. Then that goes in, and you just catch at the top of the camera. There you go. And then that goes in like so. So that's all good now. We are getting there. That, from my working out, goes that way round. I'm sure it went that way around. And then we have got two little nuts there. Then bits there, that's the outer casing. Missing the, oh there it is. Just got that bit then goes on the end. It's for the air filter. And you've just seen two little pin, two little bits have gone. They're like little spacer things. Always falling out. Just start that one. There's one that goes there also. Still not sure. Yep, I think that's right. I've got my trusty little wheel brake. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it, but I love this little tool because it's ideal for doing things like this so quick. I know you can use a little socket, but this is just, it was one of the best things I've ever bought from Poundland, believe it or not. It's a great little tool. It's 13mm, 10mm, I think 8mm, and I've got a clue because I forgot to write it on, but these are 8mm, so it's ideal for this and the little 10mm ones. So we're to that stage now. So we are moving on with this. There is a little bit here, and irritatingly, it always keeps falling off. It sort of just fits under. Then like a little pin that locates, and then there's a little slot the other side, but that is in place now. There we go then. I found what I needed to. So that's you have to watch that keep slipping out there until the casing's on, then it holds it all in place. So everything's right down. Ah, there's one little bolt I'm missing. There's one little try and find what's what we got here. Put them all in there. Yep, there's a small one that just goes on the behind the exhaust, just to hold the exhaust. And there's the two main ones that hold it onto the engine block, but there's one just at the behind it. And it's easily forgot once we took it apart, but it's in now. So I've got to remember whether it's this first or the other bit first. I think it is the recoil first. So we can get back to the air tool a bit now. Some of this. Just the bottom ones we can put on at the moment because the casing has to go and be bolted with the same bolt. See, we want to start nicely, so I might have to manually start that one. That's all right now. Yeah, we're not far off now, so I have altered the settings and everything on the I have altered the settings on the carburetor and everything, so things will probably be out a little bit. So we might have to work with that. That's if it's successful. Now, who knows? I better just start that one first because that's like a fine thread one. And go on to this. Then we should have one and there. I can see that working the carb, and it locks. I think that's all okay. We've got a couple more to go in. There's one in here, just one in there. Oh, come on, go in. Here we go. Done that one. There's two more to go in. I don't know. Oh, there's one right. These may. I think them ones may have to be done by hand because they're, like I said again, they're deep ones. So just quickly get them in. So it's all back together. Hopefully I'll prime it up and away it goes. We'll just try the compression. Yes, a lot better compression. So let me just recap where choke is. This is live, I haven't tried it before, so we will go from here, touching exhaust now just to prove it. What I will do though, I'll just stop the door from flapping open. Because I'll get a bit fumey in here. You're in line, let's have a go. It's running. I think the card might have to be adjusted a little bit. It might need to be warmed up anyway. So that was the problem. Run well, actually. So there you go, the Stihl BG72 is a goer. It's been quite a long job sorting it out. I thought that it was just head come loose originally. Well, originally I thought it was a spark arrestor in the exhaust. Then I thought it was because the head had come loose. But when the head come loose, I reckon probably it's what happened is it blocked, more pressure in the engine, loosened the head bolts, and then as that wasn't true, the piston rings were going up, and they probably wore, and it's probably what it was. So it's cost me, a cap is about £6–7 I think, and I haven't got that yet. The head gasket was around £5, and the piston rings I think were around about £10–11. So for about £20 I've got a nice little blower there. It's an old one, but it seems to be pretty good. Yeah, off camera I'll probably just adjust them carburetor screws up when it's warmed up, just so it's running just a little bit nicer. I think I'll rev out. I think I'll make it so it revs out a little bit more, and then yeah, then it'll be sort of done. I'll just get a cap because I'm sure that isn't a Stihl cap. I've set the carb now. Running okay. I think it's getting a little bit lower fuel. So I think this is actually okay now. I did have a little bit of hassle off camera. Let's put it up onto the couple of bits and put it up on the bench. Yeah, off camera it was really flooding bad, and I found out at the end that the fuel screws nearly had to be all the way in. They're out less than one turn. Both the fuel screws. Usually it's about one and a half, 2. From how I usually set them, I usually unscrew them about 1.5, 2. But this, they hardly got to be out, so in time it might want a diaphragm on it. But we're only up to there on the fuel tank at the moment, so because it's flooded so bad, I put the drill on the nut and turned over the drill, and it sort of cleaned it out, and then it fired up. So because the compression had gone down a little bit now, because when I did the rings I put a bit of oil in the bore, so that increased the compression. So that's why it really seemed really tough at the beginning, but now that compression's gone down a little bit now. But these little things don't have to have that much compression anyway. Obviously they have to have enough, but the piston was in good condition, so you know, not really scratched and that. If they're scratched and gouged, then you know, then you're not really going to get anywhere. But with this it was well worth saving because of that. But yeah, fairly pleased with that. Thanks for watching. I'll be along with another video again soon.